So you know what I haven't done in a while? A vlog! You remember vlogs, right? You know, it's basically an exercise in visual and auditory narcissism, where I sit in front of my camera and talk about myself for about 7.5 minutes. Yeah, those. You remember. And most of the time they come in parts, and this one is no exception. Today's video comes in 6 parts, or possibly in 6 parts. Part 1. New stuff, like a new intro. Yes, no. And you guys need to tell me whether you like that intro or not, because of course the quality of an intro totally tells you what the quality of the vlog is going to be. Second new thing, my new glasses. There we go. Yes, I have new glasses. They are considerably nerdier than my last pair. A few videos ago I mentioned that I was allergic to metal. Specifically, I'm allergic to nickel, which makes most wireframe glasses pretty much unavailable to me. These frames are pure titanium, which means that they don't bother me. It also means that they're very expensive. And so I decided to try plastic frames for a while. I haven't worn plastic frames for a long time. In fact, the last time I wore them I was in elementary school. See, right there? That's me in 2nd grade. Man, what a dork. But when I was in elementary school, I had a pair that kept breaking, partly because they were cheap frames and also partly because I was very clumsy. And so I'm hoping that now that I'm older, although I'm still pretty clumsy, maybe I can keep these from breaking. It's funny because before Halloween I was looking desperately for a pair of horn-rimmed glasses so I could be Noah Bennett for Halloween, and I never actually did find any true horn-rimmed glasses, and now I've got these, and so now I look a little bit more like Noah Bennett. I'm just trying to protect my family! Okay, maybe a little bit less of that. Speaking of heroes, Part 2, the part where I babble about heroes. If you're not at all interested in hearing me babble about heroes for the next few minutes, then go ahead to this time, which will be part 3. So, heroes. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm loving it right now. I'm loving everything that they're doing with the characters. I'm loving the situations that they're putting them in. They haven't done a whole lot with like how the world, how the government would react to all of these people with powers. And now we have a chance to see that firsthand. I really like what they're doing with the morally gray characters, Noah and Angela. We actually saw Angela Petrelli being a human being. What is this world coming to? And of course, Sylar. I'm loving the Sylar storyline. And I like that Sylar's found a kindred. Okay, done with the heroes babble now. Part 3. My feet. My feet are very cold. I really don't know why. Part 4. Grad school. There's one more thing that I still have to do, and that is the interview, which is this Saturday, and I'm really kind of nervous about it, and I don't really want to say anything more about it in this video, so moving on to Part 5. Part 5, tutoring. Tutoring is going extremely well. I've still got my 2 students through the school. Megan, who has muscular dystrophy and who community members have been building a house for. That house is almost finished and they should be able to move in hopefully by the end of this month. And the other one is a student who has cerebral palsy in addition to a social anxiety disorder. And there was a long time where she was, really shy around me and she wouldn't even look me in the eye when I was talking. And now she's looking at me in the eye, she's asking me questions, we're actually having conversations across the table, and every so often I can actually get her to laugh. And plus I've got several private students. In fact, I've acquired 2 new private students in the past week, one of whom I've met, the other I have not. And so I'm doing pretty well with the tutoring gig. It's kind of nice to know that even if I don't get into grad school, I still have the tutoring here to fall back on. I can easily stay here another year and tutor the same people. So it's kind of comforting, especially given how nervous I am about the grad school interview. And finally, Part 6. I'm filming this on Monday night, but by the time you're watching it, it will be Fat Tuesday or Mardi Gras, which means that tomorrow is the beginning of Lent. Now I know that not all of my viewers celebrate Lent, not all of my viewers are Christian. Basically, Lent is the holiday before Easter where we, for lack of a better word, celebrate Jesus's passion and suffering and death. The traditional thing for Christians to do on Lent is to sacrifice something, to give something up. And it's a tradition that I've never really participated in and one that I've never really understood. The idea behind the sacrifice is that you are sacrificing something in the same way that Jesus sacrificed his life. The type of sacrifices typically made on Lent are giving up chocolate, giving up desserts, giving up carbonated beverages, usually things that you should really give up anyway. And the thing is, you make the sacrifice for the 40+ days, and after the 40+ days is over, you go back to whatever it was, and you go back to your previous life and la-di-da. Last year, just to see if I could do it, I participated in the whole tradition of Lent. I gave up caffeine, and really it wasn't like I was suffering during any of that time. I had headaches for like the first couple of days, and then they passed, and it was fine. I didn't really even miss it. But then once Lent was over, I went back to drinking Pepsi again. And so I was trying to think of something that I could do that would help me participate in the tradition of Lent, but would also be productive in some way. And then I remembered something that I said I was going to do a long time ago that I didn't. You may recall back in December we had the Project for Awesome, and you may also recall that at some point I said that I had favorited a whole bunch of charities and that I would be giving money to those various charities. Yeah, I haven't done that yet. But then I decided, you know what? I favorited about 40 different charities. And there are 40 days in Lent, not counting Sundays. And so for my Lenten sacrifice, each one of the 40 days of Lent, not counting Sundays, I'm going to sacrifice a certain amount of money towards one of the 40 charities that I favorited during the Project for Awesome. The amount of money will be no less than $10. And so I've made up a list assigning each Monday through Saturday of Lent a particular charity from the Project for Awesome. Each day I will make a video on one of my 3 channels, either Katie408, Vlog Driver, or Shiny Happy Vloggy People. And somewhere in that video, I will mention the charity that I'm donating money to that day. So that project begins tomorrow, but for today, Fat Tuesday, I am going to highlight a couple of things that I favorited from the Project for Awesome that aren't charities, but they are things that are worth mentioning. Galara Loth Ann made a video telling us to support our local artists. There are a lot of people out there who make a living just making art, things for us to enjoy in our house. Our house is full of them. Our house is full of these things. I'll show you some of the things we have in our house. This is something we acquired recently, actually. It's something that looks a lot better in real life than it does on video camera. Some things on this shelf here. Another one of those spinny things, that's Star of David. We have scads and scads of blown glass. And the second thing from the Project for Awesome I'm going to mention is recycling your old electronics. This was a video made by Sean, SRS Arts. If you have an old laptop, an old cell phone, an old anything, recycle the parts. In fact, I'm going to put a link to a video that will kind of show you how to recycle your laptop more efficiently and for more money. But I know that my Dell laptop is probably not going to be with me for very much longer, and I fully plan on recycling the parts once I get a new computer. So that's going to kick this thing off. I will begin the actual charities that I'll be donating money to on Ash Wednesday tomorrow, and that is when I will see you next. Bye, everybody.